for the next Vice President of the United States, JD Vance.
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no.
Welcome to Street Politics. My name is Reese Waters. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. Now, the good news is, after the debacle from earlier this week,
if you took that stage, you would get booed off of it. You would get booed off the stage.
Shut up, Gaetz. Hey, don't be an asshole.
Dude, I don't even know who you are, man.
It doesn't fucking matter to us. Don't be an asshole.
One person who raised the issue, he's got an ethics complaint about sleeping with a 17-year-old.
the reps were on their best behavior. I mean, other than Matt Gaetz, who broke into JD Vance's makeup kit. You know, I actually get why JD Vance does makeup, though, because it gives you something to entertain yourself while he's talking.
We need a leader who's not in the pocket of big business, but answers to the working man, union and non-union alike. A leader who won't sell out to multinational corporations.
Now, aside from the fact that Trump has called for cutting corporate taxes by $800 billion this week, boring! Ohio, this is what y'all gave us? Ohio, I gotta holler at y'all. Ohio, like really, like how did you even sit there long enough to pay attention to him to decide that he's somebody you wanted to vote for? I ain't been this mad at Ohio since the Cavs stole the 2016 NBA championship. Y'all know Draymond Green shouldn't have been suspended. I ain't been this mad at Ohio since the Buckeyes stole the 2002 national championship. That's two that they stole. It might be something in Ohio. You know what? I ain't been this mad at Ohio since somebody stole the chart out the barbershop in Steve Harvey's neighborhood and he had to go with a man unit. But here's where we get to the bad news. While the reps were on their best behavior, this time it was the crowd acting up.
And put them behind bars. Or send them back.
I thought Greg Abbott was going to start floating. This ain't going to look good.
Because I've been so struck, not just by what we've heard, Kristen, but what we have not heard this whole week. All the rally favorites, the greatest hits about the 2020 election being stolen. No one's mentioning it. Political grievances, weaponizing government. Nobody's mentioning it. Nobody's calling the January 6th rioters patriots or hostages. All of that seems to have been excised from what the Republican Party is trying to portray here on this stage. It is notable.
It's very notable, and we are told that the Republican National Committee did urge some of these speakers to tone down their language in these speeches, and so clearly we're hearing a reflection of that in these speeches. It represents a shift.
Oh, word, they tamped it down while holding mass deportation signs. That was them tamping it down. Exactly what would have not been them tamping it down? Just walking around with a lasso, dragging people off of the street? NBC News, tell me exactly what not tamping it down looks like if this is tamping it down. You know, I should have known. I should have known when I saw Kristen Welker.
Well, the president was clearly comfortable discussing foreign policy issues from Ukraine to China, but he did mix up Vice President Harris and former President Trump's names mere minutes into the event, just hours after mistakenly calling Ukrainian President Zelensky President Putin. Welcome back. One group that's happy with how President Biden's news conference went last night, Republicans, especially those around former President Trump.
I got less sympathy for Kristen Welker than the people who lost money on crypto with Amber Rose. See, that is allegedly why she is MAGA now, because apparently she's trying to get in front of any potential charges that she might be facing by cozying up to the man who might be president. I will say this, far be it from me to ever, and I mean ever, defend Amber Rose, but if you lose money investing with Amber Rose, you deserve to be broke. I'm sorry, you deserve to be broke. That money was not long for your pockets. I am sorry. If you invest your money with Amber Rose, you make worse financial decisions than the people on her OnlyFans. See? I told you. But still, I gotta ask, what made this crowd so mad?
Sometimes it just writes itself. It's probably a ladybug in the system.
That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. And I want to take this moment to send my heart out to all the poor, innocent men of Milwaukee who had nothing to do with the RNC, who had their social lives completely interrupted by this convention. Oh, come on. Wait a minute. Is that a congressman? But it was an especially bad look in front of JD Vance's wife. I mean, at least you can pretend in person and then go be racist online. That's typically the American way. You smile in their face and then you go post insanely racist stuff on the internet when you get home. That is typically how the priority is supposed to work. Huh? Oh yeah, I love Kasim Rashid. Let's see what Kasim had to say here. Vance's wife, Usha Vance, comes into the spotlight as a potential future second lady. Usha is a Yale Law graduate. She clerked for Justice Roberts, then Justice Kavanaugh, and is now an accomplished corporate lawyer. She even, as the New York Times put it, helped Mr. Vance organize his ideas about social decline in rural white America. By all accounts, she's been vital to advancing not only JD Vance's racism and claims of white grievance, but intimately supported a rogue MAGA Supreme Court rife with corruption to advance Project 2025. Usha should be a MAGA hero for advancing the MAGA agenda of racism and white supremacy. Who does she think she is? Byron Donalds?
My background is very different from JD's. I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community. With two loving parents, both immigrants from India.
And apparently they're gonna be the last ones if you have your way. So apparently they came in order to allow for you to close the door. Is that what it is? Close the door. I'll give you that white America you've been waiting for.
My background is very different from JD's. I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community. With two loving parents, both immigrants from India, and a wonderful sister.
They didn't clap or nothing. That is just rude. For comparison's sake, they even clapped for Don Jr.
The country we love. And by the way, JD Vance is gonna make one hell of a vice president.
The biggest victim, though, was Don Sr., who was clearly fighting for his life all throughout that speech. I have been there before. I remember Easter Sunday, 87 through 96. Those were all rough. But nothing, and I mean nothing, tops this. No, ain't no way. That was Photoshop. I refuse to believe that. That has to be You know what? I need video. Video or it didn't happen.
for the next Vice President of the United States, JD Vance. Our ally.
Help me out, MAGA. Is this a serious event or not? Is this because I've been sitting on the jokes. I'll be honest, I have been responsible. I've been sitting on the jokes. I didn't post this. I didn't post this. But yet, here y'all go. Is that an index card? So you want me to believe that this was an attack on democracy and that Trump is an American hero?
They say you can't truly know how you'll respond in a moment of danger until you're actually confronted with it. So what was my father's instinct as his life was on the line? Not to cower, not to surrender, but to show for all the world to see that the next American president has the heart of a lion. My father raised his fist into the air. He looked out at the crowd, and what did he say?
But this is how y'all act, huh? Is this how y'all act when soldiers come back from war? You know, real American heroes, y'all just limp around. Is that how you do it? When you show up to the tarmac, when they get off the plane, you act like you're wounded, where they're wounded, just walking around the airport with eye patches? Exactly how does this work? I'm trying to understand how you want us to have the proper level of respect for this attack on an American hero, but you out here with ace bandages around your face. How far does this go, MAGA? I need to know how far this goes. I'm surprised nobody showed up to the convention with a robe, considering what we learned during his hush money trial. If y'all gonna treat it like a joke, then don't get mad when other people do.